Hakadosh Boker Tov. We're just continuing with halachot. The Siman Kuf Mem Zayin. Maran brings down asur le'echol sever Torah rum belo mitpachat. You're not allowed to take the sever Torah with your hands without a mitpachat. This is, by the way, one of the reasons. And then the Gemara just says that if a person does so, they are going to be buried without a mitzvah. What does that mean? Buried without clothing means without the mitzvah, that they, as if that they didn't do the mitzvah. If it is that you do need to touch it, so then you would have to do netilat yadayim. But if you do not need to touch it, then even netilat yadayim does not suffice. Right, because you're not supposed to be touching the klaf of the Sefer Torah. This is the reason why the Sfaradim, what we do is that we have around the Sefer Torah, we have this cloth in order that when you're rolling it or you're doing other things, there's no necessity to actually touch the klaf of the Sefer Torah. That is going to be the first halakha. Maran then brings down another important halakha, which goes as follows: Gadol shebeotam shekaru b'Torah golel. He says over here, Gadol shebeotam shekaru b'Torah. Do you realize we're going to speak in 1 minute what exactly is Gelila? But the Gemara says that the one that does the Gelila is notel sachar kenega kulam, which means that he's going to take the reward for everybody else, which means it's the highest, right? It's the highest mitzvah. The Mishnah Berurah actually brings over here that if you have two people that have azkara, that have yortzeit and achala, and one person goes to the Torah, you should give the second one Marei Haketab. He says, why? Because that is the Keilu, that is the highest thing. So therefore, you're going to actually split it up. If you have a way of splitting it up, one person you'll give him the Aliyah, and the other person you'll give him the Marei Haketab. But Maran brings down here, what exactly is Marei Haketab? So Rav David Yosef brings down the different shitot already brought down, whether it's in the Rishonim and Achorim, what is Gelila? He brings on the first Yeshomrim, which is the Pashtut, which is the Shita of the Ramah, and also of the Mishnah Berurah and everybody else, that they all say, what is the mitzvah, the Ikar mitzvat Gelila, Marei Haketab, which means there's two separate mitzvot, even though it's all called HaGolel. You have the Golel, which is putting around, right, whether it's going to be wrapping it up and setting up, whether it's going to be dressing and undressing of the Sefer Torah, and then you have Marei Haketab, which is you're showing the scroll to the public. So here he brings down that the Ikar Mitzvot Gelila is what the Ashkenazim called Hagba, right, which we call Marei Haketab. You're showing the scroll, right, you're showing the letters to the public. Yesh Omrim, some people say it's Gelila. Yesh Omrim, some people say HaGolel Hainu, Mi Shegolel Sefer Torah Kodem HaKriyah Umechino Limkom Shebo Tzechim HaTzibur Likro. This is an interesting one, right? We're going to have started having competition now. This Yesh Omrim bring down, you know what is the Golel? The one that prepares the Sefer every single time. Meaning there's always a person that comes and he prepares the Sefer Torah to make sure that it's going to be on the right place. That is the Golel, right? According to some opinions. The Yesh Omrim, other people say, it's the one that finishes by Vezot HaBracha and Simchat Torah, and the last Yesh Omrim is, it's the Mashlim, which that's what we spoke about yesterday, that the one that's Mashlim is the Gadol Shebekulam, the Zma'alim B'Kodesh. So this is the Mashlim that he's finishing, that is called the Golel. Now it is mashma from Maran if you paid attention, because he says, Gadol Shebeotam Shekaru B'Torah Golel. Who's the one that does the Gelila? The greatest one that went up to the Torah. Meaning he had to get an Aliyah. And that person that got an Aliyah is also one of the people that are going to be doing Marei Haketab. Nowadays it's not a minhag, right, to do so, but at the end of the day, right, it does exist such a concept. So who's going to get this mitzvah of Gelila? So therefore, since right now they said that Gelila is such an important mitzvah and it's notel tzchak keneged kulam, because that they gave it to Shegadol Shebahem Shehu HaGolel Sefer Torah. Now he says, some people say that he has to actually read, but Minhag Yisrael is that nowadays we're not makpid. Even a person that didn't get an aliyah whatsoever, he could still come and he could do the Marei Haketab, and he's also a person is allowed to do the Gelila, right? Now he says, if you do not sell the mitzvot, so therefore it's fitting to give it to the greatest of the people. Nevertheless, if you really need to, because of their keshalom, you could give it to whoever, right, that needs to do it. The Mishnah Berurah does bring down something very interesting. There was a minhag brought in Sharei Ephraim, that even though we just mentioned that there's two different mitzvot, there's the Gelila and then there's the Marei Haketab. He brings down there was a minhag to give the Gelila to children which are Yigia Lechinuch, in order lechancham b'mitzvot, in order to educate them for doing mitzvot. So again, here are just a few of the different halachot, which is showing the preciousness, how much is chaviv the mitzvah, and that's why he says that they're going to be ragil liknotam bedamim ikarim lechabev et mitzvah. Right? He says to show how precious the mitzvah is of having the Sefer Torah. But again, this is just a little bit of just understanding, right? What is the mitzvah of the Gelila and what is the mitzvah of Marei Haketab?